You fall asleep without any problem, maybe 10, maybe 11 at night. And then, without fail, somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning, you are wide awake, not groggy, not drifting, wide awake, with a mind that will not stop, staring at a ceiling that has nothing new to offer. You lie there for an hour, sometimes 2, and then, just as dawn approaches, you finally drift off again, only to wake up exhausted from an alarm an hour later. This has been happening for months, maybe years, and when you mention it, the response is almost always the same. That is just stress. That is just your age. I want to tell you something that 14 years of clinical practice has made absolutely clear. Waking at 3 a.m. consistently is not random. It is not just stress. It is not just aging. Your body is doing this for specific biological reasons. And once you understand what those reasons actually are, the solution becomes far clearer. Before we go through the causes, I need you to understand why 3 a.m. specifically is when this happens, because this one piece of information changes everything. Your body runs on a biological clock called the circadian rhythm. Between 2 and 4 in the morning, 2 significant hormonal events happen simultaneously. First, your cortisol level, your body's primary stress hormone, begins its daily rise. It starts climbing around 2 to 3 a.m., preparing you to be alert. In people with certain underlying issues, this cortisol rise happens too early, too steeply, and it pulls them out of sleep before the body is ready. Second, blood sugar reaches its lowest point of the 24-hour cycle around 3 a.m. This dip triggers a stress response that activates the nervous system. This wakes the person as effectively as an alarm clock. Understanding these 2 mechanisms is the key to understanding every cause I am about to describe. I want to tell you about a patient, a 65-year-old retired man who had been waking between 3 and 3:30 every morning for over a year. He was not stressed. He had tried melatonin. He had tried chamomile tea. He had tried going to bed later. Nothing worked. He was told this was simply what sleep looks like after 60. Once we addressed the underlying factors, he came back 6 weeks later. He said, "I slept through until 6 a.m. for the first time in a year." He didn't need meds. He needed info. Cause number 1, and the one that resolves the most cases, is a blood sugar dip triggering a stress response at 3 a.m. Here is exactly what happens. When you eat your last meal, your blood sugar rises, then gradually falls through the evening as your body processes the food. In response, the adrenal glands release a small surge of adrenaline and cortisol to trigger the liver to release stored glucose and raise blood sugar back to a safe level. That adrenaline surge is enough to pull you out of deep sleep. Your heart may beat faster. Your mind becomes suddenly active. This is not anxiety. This is biochemistry. A small handful of nuts, a tablespoon of almond butter, a hard-boiled egg, a small piece of cheese. Nothing large, nothing sugary. Just enough protein and fat to extend the fuel supply through the night. Pro tip: avoid alcohol in the evening. It initially raises blood sugar, then causes a significant rebound drop that lands precisely at 3 a.m. for most people. Cause number 2, cortisol dysregulation, is one of the most common drivers of consistent 3 a.m. waking in adults over 55. Your cortisol should follow a precise daily curve, lowest at midnight, beginning a gradual rise around 4 to 5 a.m. to give you morning alertness. In people with dysregulation, this curve shifts earlier. The cortisol rise that should begin at 5 a.m. begins instead at 2 a.m., pulling them out of sleep. What causes this? Chronic psychological stress. Not just current stress, but the accumulated load of months or years that has conditioned your system to be ready. The solution begins with a consistent wind-down routine 90 minutes before bed. No screens, no problem solving. The nervous system needs a deliberate signal. Magnesium glycinate taken before bed supports the nervous system. A dose of 200 to 400 milligrams is common, but discuss this with your doctor first. Cause number 3 surprises almost every patient when I mention it, because most people never connect liver function to waking at 3 a.m. In traditional Chinese medicine and modern physiology, 3 a.m. is associated with liver function. Between 1 and 3 a.m., the liver enters its most active processing phase. In people whose liver is working under increased load, from medications or alcohol, this overnight processing can trigger a response that disrupts sleep. This is not a dramatic liver failure scenario. This is a subtle, increased liver workload that produces a subtle but consistent sleep disruption at the same time every night. And add foods that support liver processing. Cruciferous vegetables, beetroots, lemon water in the morning, and foods rich in glutathione precursors like garlic, onions, and eggs. Cause number 4, obstructive sleep apnea, is one that is both extremely common and extremely underdiagnosed in adults over 55. Sleep apnea occurs when the soft tissue at the back of the throat relaxes during sleep and blocks the airway. Sleep apnea occurs when the tissue at the back of the throat relaxes and blocks the airway. The drop in oxygen triggers the brain to partially wake to restore tone. In mild to moderate cases, the person has no memory of these micro-arousals. They simply find themselves inexplicably awake at the same time every night, often between 2 and 4 a.m. Other indicators include snoring reported by a partner or family member, waking with a dry mouth or headache, feeling unrefreshed after what should have been adequate sleep, needing to use the bathroom at 3 a.m. Now you have the information to address those reasons directly. If this pattern fits, please speak with your doctor specifically about a sleep study. A sleep study can be done at home with a simple device, and it produces a definitive answer. Now you have the information to address those reasons directly. Tonight, have a small protein and fat snack 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Begin a consistent wind-down routine 60 to 90 minutes before bed. No screens, no problem solving. Same sequence every night. Consider magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams, 30 minutes before bed. Discuss with your doctor first. Avoid alcohol in the evening, even a single glass. This week, finish your last meal at least 3 hours before sleeping. Increase water intake through the day, not the evening. Add liver-supporting foods, cruciferous vegetables, garlic, eggs, lemon water in the morning. Your body is waking you at 3 a.m. for specific biological reasons. Now you have the information to address those reasons directly. This is not about age. This is about information. Take care of yourself. In my next video, I'm going to cover 5 nutrients that research suggests directly support deep sleep quality in adults over 55. Subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss it. Share this with someone who has been waking at the same hour every night and has been told it is simply their age. Drop a comment. Tell me what time you consistently wake and how long this has been happening. I read every comment personally. This is not about age. This is about information. Take care of yourself. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. Always consult with your personal doctor before making any changes to your health or medications.